Hello, I'm Dr. Neil, and these stretches have been given to you to help with your lower back. So some seated lower back stretches that are really going to be helpful, so you're not going to have to get on the ground or put yourself in a position to injure yourself. The most common stretch of muscle on the back of the leg, which has an influence on the back, is what's called your hamstrings. That muscle group we can do seated by sitting on the end of a chair, straightening the leg with your toe pointing up, and then from this position, we're leaning forward to feel the pull in the back of the leg. Now, if we do this incorrectly, we see a lot of times patients want to round their back and lean toward the toe to get as close as they can. But by doing that, you're not really incorporating any of the actual stretch that we're trying to accomplish here. So what we want is we want to feel like we're keeping our chest up and our back straight. And even to there, I already feel a pull. So that pull we want to feel for 30 seconds to a minute. Easy to switch over to the other side. And we're doing the exact same thing, 30 seconds to a minute. And we're going to alternate 2 times to 3 times a day. So really easy to do from your desk at home, or when you're in your home office or at the office, to really allow that muscle to stretch. The problem with sitting is when we sit, the knee causes that muscle to tighten. So by stretching that out, it's going to be attaching to the back and causing less stress on the lower back. The other big muscle group is going to be into your glute, because as the nerves in your back travel down and into the leg and feet and toes, they can get pinched and jammed into that muscle group. So the way we're going to stretch that is bringing your ankle to the knee. So we call this like a figure 4 stretch. So your legs almost mimic the number 4. So from here, same concept, keeping your back straight, chest up. We don't want to see you rounding forward. That's not going to do you any good. So we want to sit up nice and tall, pull, and again, even to right there, I already start to feel a pull. 30 seconds to a minute. Then you're going to alternate to the other side. Of course, you can help your ankle up there if you need to. You will see some places recommend pushing the knee down. Not necessary in this case. Really, all we really want to focus on is getting moving forward and getting that pressure on that hip and pelvis or hip and glute to relax as best we can. Once you've done that for 30 seconds to a minute, you're going to alternate both sides 2 to 3 times a day, and that should definitely help. So another overlooked muscle when we're having back pain is actually in the front. That muscle is what's called your hip flexor. So it's the muscle in the front of the thigh here between your hip and your thigh. When we sit, that muscle gets shorter, and the longer it stays shorter, the more it pulls on our back and creates a lot of pressure and tension into our back. So the best way to stretch that is going to be on the ground. Sometimes putting a cushion or a pillow on the ground is going to be okay if your knee's a little sensitive to the surface. And the goal of this stretch is to offer some stretch or some strain here in the front of the thigh. And when we do this, the common mistake we see is just leaning forward. So nothing really changes when we do that. Nothing really gets longer, or we see people hyperextend their back, which is also going to put a lot of stress and strain here and doesn't really stretch through the hip. So what we want is you're going to stay in a relatively neutral position. From here, what we're going to want to feel is that we are squeezing that glute and pushing forward from there. So even just right there, I'm already feeling a deep stretch in the front of the thigh. So it's not a positional thing as much as it is feeling like you're thrusting your hip forward in that direction to where you feel a deep pull through here. With any stretch, 30 seconds to a minute, we're gonna alternate left and right. Do it 2 times per side, 2 times per day. Sometimes more than that's gonna be fine. You're not gonna be able to overdo it. But the more often we can start to incorporate that stretch, the better results you're going to start to have. So another great exercise for the lower back is going to be done on the ground. This is what's called a cat-cow or cat-camel. And the whole purpose is that we want to get some motion into our lower backs without a whole lot of stress or gravity pressing down on it. So when we're on the ground, we want our hands to be in front of or on top of our shoulders on top of our hands, and our knees below our hips. So we don't want to be too far back, we don't want to be too far forward. So a nice neutral kind of crawled position. When we're in this position, the first exercise is going to be to round or drop the back into a more arched position. So to do that, we're going to just feel like your belly is going toward the ground, and it naturally puts you in the position you need to be in. If we start to fall back or fall forward, you're not going to get as much out of it. So you want to push into that position as far as your body will let you go without causing pain. Once you're in that position, you're only holding for about 2 good deep breaths, and then you're going to do the opposite. You're going to want to round the back. So we're going to push the back up toward the air, kind of like an angry cat, and also feeling like you're pulling your hips down. Again, we don't need to rock back or forward, and holding for 2 seconds. So it's going to look something similar to this position here, and then rounding and pulling in here. So the goal is not to see how far you can go each time, as much as it is what can we do to create that movement, since when most of us are sitting all day or standing all day, it's creating lots of tension and stress on our spine. So we're just trying to get those joints moving better before they have a chance to lock up and cause the pain that brought you in. So these stretches should help with your lower back condition. Feel free to give us a call at the office if you have any problems or questions. Look forward to seeing you on your next visit. Thanks for watching.